Thank God, say I no be Igbo by tribe. That tribe, they are so easy to buy. You just hold money and power, they will follow you like puppy dog. You know, forgetting Nnamdi Kanu for Chokoto prison. But our Yoruba, our own Igboho don't come. They don't clear him.
If you've been following Nigerian political conversations online lately, you may have come across a viral comment attributed to businessman Isaac Fayose that has stirred intense reactions across social media. The statement touches on ethnic identity, political loyalty, and the treatment of high-profile separatist figures, topics that are always sensitive in a country as diverse as Nigeria. Today, let's slow things down and look carefully at what was said, what people believe it refers to, and why it has sparked such heated debate. As we go along, remember to like this video, share it with others who care about thoughtful discussion, subscribe to the channel, and drop your own views in the comments respectfully so we can all learn from different perspectives. The comment in question, as widely circulated online, suggests that some Igbo people are easily swayed by money and political power, claims they have forgotten Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains in government custody in the following legal proceedings, and contrasts this with how some Yoruba supporters rallied around Sunday Igboho, another separatist figure who later left Nigeria and whose case became the subject of diplomatic and legal discussions abroad. It goes further to reference some people in the southeast allegedly wearing campaign merchandise linked to President Bola Tinubu, using that image to question shifting political loyalties. It's important to say right away that this is a single individual's commentary, not an established fact about any ethnic group. Nigeria's Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, and dozens of other communities are not monoliths. Within every group are people with sharply different political views, priorities, and interpretations of current events. Reports indicate that Isaac Fayose made these remarks during a public discussion or online broadcast, reacting to what he perceives as changing political behavior among voters and activists in different regions. Clips and quotes spread quickly on platforms like X, Facebook, and WhatsApp, often without full context, which tends to intensify emotions and sometimes oversimplify complex realities. To understand why this resonated, we need to look at the background of the figures mentioned. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is associated with the indigenous people of Biafra movement, which has long called for an independent Biafran state. The Nigerian government considers IPOB a proscribed organization, and Kanu has faced terrorism-related charges, which he denies. His detention and ongoing legal battles have drawn strong reactions in parts of the southeast and from supporters abroad, while others in the region hold different views about separatism and political strategy. Sunday Igboho, on the other hand, rose to prominence in the southwest after confronting armed herders and later voicing support for Yoruba self-determination. After clashes with authorities, he left Nigeria and was detained in Benin Republic before being released following court rulings there. Some Yoruba groups saw this as a legal victory, while others emphasized the need for dialogue and unity within Nigeria. When Fayose's comments compare reactions to these two figures, many listeners interpret him as accusing one group of abandoning its cause, while praising another for solidarity. Critics of the statement argue that it ignores the legal, political, and international differences between the two cases. Supporters of that criticism also point out that public opinion in both regions is far from uniform. There are Igbos who prioritize national politics over separatist movements, and Yorubas who disagree strongly about self-determination campaigns. The reference to Tinubu mandate caps appears to allude to campaign merchandise worn by supporters of President Bola Tinubu during and after the 2023 elections. Across Nigeria, people from many ethnic backgrounds participated in rallies, wore branded clothing, and expressed support for different candidates. Analysts often caution against reading too much into these visible symbols because electoral behavior is shaped by a mix of economic concerns, party structures, local leaders, and personal beliefs, not ethnicity alone. Why then did this comment strike such a nerve? One reason is that Nigeria's history includes moments when political tensions took on ethnic or regional dimensions, sometimes with tragic consequences. Because of that past, many Nigerians are quick to challenge any statement that sounds like it stereotypes or pits communities against one another. Another factor is the power of social media. Short, provocative lines travel faster than long explanations. A clipped quote can sound harsher than the full conversation it came from, and once it spreads, people respond to the version they saw, not necessarily the original context. Some online users defended Fayose by saying he was making a political, not ethnic argument about elite influence and voter behavior. Others rejected that framing, insisting that the language used was unfair and inflammatory. Political commentators have also weighed in, noting that discussions about loyalty, protest movements, and electoral shifts should be grounded in data and careful analysis, rather than sweeping claims. In recent elections, voting patterns across the Southeast and Southwest showed diversity, with opposition parties winning in some areas and the ruling party in others. That complexity doesn't easily fit into viral soundbites, so how did it happen that this single remark became such a talking point? First, a recording or transcript circulated online. Influencers and bloggers reposted it, sometimes adding their own captions or interpretations. Supporters and critics jumped into comment sections, creating long threads and video responses. Within hours, it had become part of a wider argument about national unity, political pragmatism, and whether activists should focus on court cases, negotiations, or electoral participation. Why does it matter? Because words from public figures can shape perceptions, especially in a climate where trust between communities can be fragile. When people feel misrepresented, resentment can grow. On the other hand, open debate, when handled carefully, can also push society to confront uncomfortable questions about politics, leadership, and how citizens decide where to place their support. Some observers say the deeper issue raised beneath the provocative wording is about political strategy. Should groups seeking change work within Nigeria's electoral system or outside it? Is supporting a sitting government always a sign of abandonment of past causes, or can it reflect shifting priorities like security, jobs, and infrastructure? These are questions Nigerians across regions continue to debate. Others emphasize the importance of separating criticism of political elites from generalizations about ordinary people. Business, leaders, politicians, activists, and online commentators all have their own interests and perspectives, and those don't automatically represent millions of citizens. As reactions continue, a few civic groups and commentators have called for calmer language and more fact-based discussions. They argue that Nigeria's diversity is one of its strengths, and that disagreements over separatism, elections, or government policy don't have to turn into ethnic blame games. If you're watching this from anywhere in the country or abroad, it's worth asking, what sources are shaping your view of this story? Are you seeing the full conversation or just the most dramatic lines? And how can Nigerians talk about sensitive political issues in a way that reduces tension rather than increasing it? Before we wrap up, remember to like the video if you found this breakdown useful. Share it with friends who want a calmer look at trending topics. Subscribe for more explainers like this, and leave a thoughtful comment with your perspective. Respectful dialogue helps everyone understand the bigger picture. At the end of the day, the controversy around Isaac Fayose's remarks shows how quickly political speech can ignite debate in Nigeria's digital space. It also reminds us that behind every headline or viral quote are complex histories, legal processes, and millions of individuals with different opinions. Staying informed, checking multiple sources, and keeping conversations measured may not be as flashy as hot takes, but they're essential for anyone who cares about the country's future.
And all his sins are forgiven. Now he's going to take royal title from Ile-Ife. But your own Nnamdi, and all of you come. where he mandate cap. What he tried. Thank God say I no be Igbo. Ọpẹ́ o, I can stay my own. Jẹ́jẹ́ ẹ ṣé o.